What is up, ladies and gents? We are back. I am the Guitarist 562 and I do video game guides and walkthroughs. And in today's video, we are going to go over the staff and wand and whether or not it's useful, or in my opinion, I feel like it's the best setup for being a healer, mainly because you never run out of mana. So I'm going to go ahead and set up all the skills so you can see for yourself the skills that I use for this setup. Now there's multiple ways to be a healer. You can be SNS wand, you can be longbow wand, or you can be, staff wand. I've even seen people use crossbow wand. It's kind of weird, but whatever works for you. So with that said, let's go ahead and go to my healing build, which is right here. So depending on which block that you choose really depends on the kind of healer that you want to be. Do you want to be a DPS healer, or do you want to just be all support? So when you look at this at epic, it gives you see on blue it says curse skill remaining cooldown 8 seconds, so that way you can use your curses again. And your epic skill says on perfect defense, healing spell recovery, counter spell damage additional 100%. So, but this one, the reason that I use this one is because of the fact that on epic, it gives you 5% to 10% of your max mana. So what that means is when you get a heavy block, you get a significant amount of your mana back. So what does that mean? Let's go ahead and use some skill journal so you can see for yourself. So just like that, I am struggling for mana right now. Over time, it may not seem like much, but I just used about 20% of my mana. If I keep pumping out skills throughout the fight, I'm gonna run out eventually. However, with Inner Peace, as you saw right there, I got it back. Not to mention that it's just raining right now, so just completely ignore that because it's not usually that fast. You need like nature's blessing for it to come back. So let's go ahead and go back to the skills. So the passive that you're going to be using as a healer, normally you use these three, but if you want to go for more healing, you can use this one as well. So let's go ahead and look at the passives slowly. When a weakened target dies, max damage 12 for 9 seconds. So you can use this, but I don't. Devotion and Emptiness. Skill heal 30% up and skill cooldown 10% during the day. Skill damage over time 30% and curse skill cooldown 10% at night. At rare, an additional 6%, and at night 6% more damage, and then at epic it's 10%, vice versa. So as you can see, I have that skill right here. Now the next skill says increase the duration of your curses by 1.95 seconds, which in my opinion is extremely important because if you're going for like wand dagger or stuff like that later on, you're gonna definitely need stuff like that. But because I don't play that build, I'm only going for full support. This is all that I'm using. So you can get that at epic if you want. Now the next skill is Vampiric Contract. This restores the health of a friendly target by 15% of the damage you deal to a target affected by your curse. If a friendly target is not within your range, your health is restored instead. So what that means is while you are cursing a target, the damage you do over time, literally you get your health back off of that. So if you're solo farming and you want to heal yourself with the damage that you're doing, go ahead and slap that on and you're not going to really be, dying because you're going to be getting health back every time you hurt the enemy. So I have that here. So let's see. The next skill is skill heal 2.6% per 1000 max mana. So if you have like 10k mana, do the math. And if you get this epic plus 5, it's 3%, extra heal. So as you can see, I have that one right here as well. Noble Revival, that's what it's called. Don't pay attention to the fact that, your skills look different. Remember, if it's purple, it'll look like this. If it's not, things will look different. Now, Saint's Oath. On taking skill damage, has a 10% chance to apply an Amatoi heal, incoming heal. Recovery, crystal heal, and skill heal 10% for 3 seconds and stacks up to 10 times. I don't use this. You can, but you can use it if you want to. It says Selfless Soul. Increase the mana regen by 16.2% and skill heal by 3.5%. per stack when you cast a buff with active skills to a friendly target. Stacks up to 10 times. So let's go ahead and use some of these heals in action so that way you can see for yourself. So let me go ahead and put on the shortcut real quick. And I'm going to take some damage from this specific boss. Let's see, where is he? This guy right here. Now I know some people on control are gonna ask like, oh, how do you heal other people? But we'll figure that out right now. So look, The main setup that I have here is these: Blessed Barrier, this, Swift Healing, Clay Salvation, and Fountain of Life. So when I heal myself, if I don't use this, it's gonna heal for significantly less. So I'm gonna let this guy hit me. Look at my defense right now. And it's gonna go down again because I put on Blessed Barrier. Boom, it's gone. But we're gonna go over that one by one because I don't want to be all over the place like last time. So that's a Fury attack. So I'm gonna go ahead and burn some mana skills so you can see for yourself what happens. Oh, I just froze him. Whoops. Just burning skills for no reason. Alright, so now we just gotta wait for a mana skill. Another Fury attack. As you saw right here, my mana went up again. And that's what I mean by getting your mana back. Which is extremely important for these types of dungeons. Now, I'm not gonna go ahead and do this. So just while we're wasting time, my magic defense is 1700 and 1300. Now I'm gonna select myself. Boom. Probably could have lived if I put on the defense. So for some reason, this button is not working. Now it's working. But look at that. I healed myself for a 2742. So now let's go ahead and look at the rest of the skills now. So let's read them. We have Blessed Barrier. It says friendly targets magic melee and range defense increased by 400 for 6 seconds. And incoming heal increased by 32% during the day. And magic melee and ranged endurance increases by 320 at night. So you're giving yourself all of these buffs by just applying the Blessed Barrier. The increased amount will be multiplied by 2 for 2 seconds after the effect is activated. So basically this will last for 6 seconds. But for 2 seconds after the effect is activated, it's multiplied by 2. So that's not bad. So look at my health. So if I heal myself normally, 2561, 2147. All right. Now we're going to do Blessed Barrier and see how much that heals for. Oh, this is another thing that you want to get, you know, the question that you guys have, like, what do you get to epic? This Swift Healing gives you 2 heals at rare and additional recovery at 120% of base damage at epic. So this is like one of your most consistent common heals that you can use for not only your party, and you can actually heal guild members outside of your party. But this is the only heal that'll allow you to heal outside members that are not in your party if you're doing like a open world thing or a guild boss. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit myself with Blessed Barrier. Okay, for some reason it's not. There you go. 1490, 1556. That wasn't very good. Let's go ahead and look at my stats again. But technically, you're supposed to heal yourself more with Blessed Barrier. So maybe the other number that I just saw was because I had that. Let's see. Now, the next skill that you want to also have is Time for Punishment leveled up. I would say the 2 skills you want to get to like level 5 are going to be your Clay Salvation, because this is your area heal, and your Time for Punishment because this is your damage for your enemies. So what that does is it has a 90% chance to apply Weaken Curse that it decreases skill damage resistance 160 for 9 seconds. At level 5 it does 200, so that means 20% defense down basically, or skill damage resistance. Let me go ahead and show you guys that. So like this is a normal zap. 1555, that was probably like on the low end. So I'm going to use Time for Punishment. 2462. So now we're going to go ahead and block the second one. Alright. So I'm going to heal myself normally. 1323 and 2655. You might be wondering, oh, why is that happening? Why does the numbers keep changing? And I think it's because your heals can crit, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong, though. So now I'm going to give myself Blessed Barrier. Oh, let's go ahead and do this little mechanic just so you guys can see for yourself. All right. Well, I'm dead. Let's see if I live. 25,000 damage. It's not bad. But you saw how I healed myself with Blessberry that time. It was significantly a lot more. Obviously, if you use Stellarites and stuff like that, your heals, I believe, are based off of your AP, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, so correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't like giving out misinformation. So I'm just trying to give you what I know, what the heal basically does. So let me go ahead and reset my stats. Where is it? So as a healer, you're gonna need most of your max mana and cooldown. So let's go ahead and reset this. Obviously for tier 2 dungeons, it's gonna be a different setup. Make sure you have this at 30. Might as well just get that bonus damage at 15. But as you see here, at 50, you get 5% cooldown speed, and at 60, you get extra max mana. But personally, because like I said, the staff wand is so good because you don't struggle with mana, I don't even really think you need it past, you know, 40, honestly. Because look, the way my setup is, like, I cap out right here. So use whatever you want. You could put in more health, more dexterity, more perception. I like buff duration, so I like that breakpoint because those buffs lasting a little bit longer are really good. So as you can see, I have like an extra 11 points with my specific current build right here. This is not what I would use for healers. I would use like a 4-piece transcendent, which is, you know, I do have that. So let me go ahead and put that on here. So let's go. We have, let's see, transcendent pants, transcendent boots, transcendent like helmet right here. So you can have an idea of what that does. Let's see. You know what? Let's go ahead and put that on just so you can see for yourself. So you see how my points completely changed now? Let's see. And if I had the transcendent chest piece, I'd get that 4-piece buff, which is skill heal 25% extra. But this is what you would basically be using as a healer for like a tier 1 set. The chest piece you can get from like the Abyss box. So you know what? I'm not struggling for mana, so let's just burn everything here. Because why not? We're pretty much bored. So let's go ahead and go back into the dungeon. This guy is super simple. He gives you a lot of heavy attacks and ways for you to practice your skills. Alright. So there's 2 ways you can play the healer. The way I'm doing right now, where you could just constantly heal people and then just, you know, mana recovery when you're low, which is inner peace, which is what we have right here. It says increase mana regen by 800% for 6 seconds. The skill becomes disabled if you move. This increase is doubled if you're wet, which is why when it was raining, I got a lot. Or if you have a longbow user in your party, this is where you ask them to use Nature's Blessing for 6 seconds after the skill is over if you're not wet. And at epic, it gives you a cooldown of 60 seconds. So these are your main skills for healing and support. So this is the setup that I have. 4 on the heal, and then right here. This is only strictly for healing. If you want to be a more wand DPS, I'm going to show that in a second, but this is just like wand staff. You're mainly going to be damaging things with your staff, and then if someone needs like a heal for whatever reason, you're going to go ahead and give them that. See, like right here, there's a little bit of downtime. Time for punishment. Gotta wait. Go ahead and move. See, he's already almost dead. And just like that, he's dead. Hold on, I got this setup wrong. Where is it? No wonder it wasn't working. Now, we're gonna need to actually show this in an actual dungeon, so let's go ahead and see if we can keep some people alive. Let's go ahead and queue up. Let's see. Cave of Destruction, because why not? And I'll be a healer. So now we just wait. So the other way that you can play this class is just full wand skills. You can do DPS and, you know, just use the staff as like pretty much a way to just get mana back. So let's go ahead into the dummy in case to see. Let's see which pops up first, the dungeon or that. And you might be asking yourself, why one staff? Because of these skills right here that you just get for free. So for staff, you get this thing called asceticism. It increases, let's see, magic, melee, and ranged heavy attack chance by 100, and it lasts for 2 seconds after you move. And also, using mobility skills will not end the effect. At rare, it says the standstill time required for additional max mana regen is down 3 seconds. Let's see, epic, magic, melee, and ranged heavy attack chance 100 with additional mana regen. So what that means is, let's take a look at your overall heavy attack chance. Look at that, 276. Let's move. 176. And then look, stand still for a little while, boom. It went back up again. Let's go ahead and look at the other skills that I use. So this is Mana Amp at Epic, which is really good, that I like using it for, because not only does it give you more mana, 2800 just for existing, it gives you extra health by 1200, which is kind of a big deal for these tier 2 dungeons. Then you have Flame Condensation, which skills heavy attack chance 10 per burning stack. So what does that mean? Well, when you go to like a dummy or something, you give it a burning stack whenever you have, let's see, Infernal Wave or your Serial Fire Bombs, which is my number 1 and number 2 skill. And I put that on a dummy. Over time, depending on what level it's at, you get stacks. So what does that look like? So let's go ahead and hit this dummy so you can see for yourself. The 3 hits, I'm already at 8 stacks. So you have a chance with the Infernal Wave. And now I'm at 10 stacks. And because of buff duration and everything, it lasts for 12 seconds. So let's go ahead and look at that skill. It says burning stacks 1 to the target per critical hit. At Epic, apply 2 stacks of burning to the target with a single attack. That's why it's important to get it at Epic. All fire skills weaken burning damage is equal to Serial Fire Bomb. So let's see. Says a fire skill that deals 170% of base damage plus 161 to all areas with 3 meter radius from the target. 2 weakening burning is applied to the target if hit was critical. Let's see, stacks up to 10 times. It can be used up to 3 times in a row. The casting time decreases and mana cost increases as the skill is used consecutively. And this one says has a 70% chance to apply the weaken burning. Oop, let's go accept. I'm at 10 stacks. Boom, boom. Time for punishment. So you get kind of in this weird part where you can't really do much. And the next thing you do it is with other skills. You saw the ×2 right there. Let's see, I think he wants this. Let's go ahead and go back. And just like that, you do damage over time. So again, this is the heals that you use. Let's go back and now let's switch a couple more skills out so it's more wand, not so much staff. So you're gonna use this button. Let's see, accept. You're gonna use Corrupted Curse Explosion, which will be our 4. This. Let's see, Curse Explosion. And then I guess I could use Karmic Haze. But we won't use that. Oh, we're on last boss. Well, would you look at that? This is a perfect chance. I'm gonna keep Serial Fire Bombs because of the burning effect. But this is the one negative side effect about being a healer that I dislike, is that certain skills you can't use. For example, like this is a sleep skill that I won't be able to use on boss. So they need to change it to sleep or drowsy so that way you can still use this with your overall rotation. So what that would look like is like this. So the boss has like a couple stacks. Now I got a curse going. I got another curse going. But look, remember how I have Vampiric Contract? Look at the guy who's healing right here. It's because of the Vampiric Contract. He's taking damage over time. I'm sorry, he's getting the health regen over time because of my curses. So now I have multiple curses on the boss. So look, I'm gonna heal him. 1, 2. That was 3k, but that was without Blessed Barrier. So I'm gonna let him go a little lower again, just to see kind of what happens. Look at that, 4,807 with a Blessed Barrier. And this is like an AoE heal. You can choose where you want it. Personally, since this is the tank, I'm gonna go ahead and leave it there. And again, I'm gonna heal him. I'm gonna wait for Blessed Barrier. This is an AoE heal right here. But I'm gonna go ahead and Blessed Barrier him. And look at that, 6,600 as a heal. Mind you, the weapon that I'm using is not very good. It's literally a +6 grip. But because everything's basically at epic, it's not a big deal. And then you might be asking, what kind of garden will I be using? Personally, I prefer everyone to use the Shade Revenant even as a healer. So let's see. Hold on, let me make sure he doesn't die. Look at that, 11k just back. Not to mention that I'm missing out on the Transcendent buff. Oops. I could have died right there, but it's okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and sit here. Let's see. Guardian. A lot of people want the mana one, which I believe is this one. Yep, that's what some people use to give people mana, or they use one that I like, Shade Revenant, for damage. So let me do an AoE heal right here. Let me heal him. And let me put on the curses so that way everyone in the area can get healed up. Now you've noticed that I haven't really used Cursed Explosion. And that's because, like I said, it doesn't work on bosses. So it's kind of like pointless. I probably should have done the larva mechanic right here, but I'm gonna keep him alive here. Like, look how much I'm healing someone. Okay, I'm not gonna open that box because, again, this is just to show you guys how to be a healer. Now let me show you what it looks like if I actually was fighting an enemy. So those are the two ways you can use, you know, staff wand. You can use more staff skills with wand, like half and half, or you can focus more on the wand skills, usually for PvP, open world, or stuff like that. Or if you want to like do like mob farming, you would use it more like this because you can just put multiple things to you know, to sleep. So let's go ahead. We're going to show you how to do that afterwards. But first, let me show you what this combo would look like. Because the damage that you do over time just comes all into one massive explosion. But you don't want to wake up sleeping targets. So before I start the combo, I'm going to explain it to you. So this is the major skill right here. It has an 80% chance to apply attack speed and movement speed by down 30% for 3 seconds, and sleep curse for 5.2 seconds afterwards. 14 seconds for monsters, and continuously deals 100% damage over time. Hitting a sleeping target becomes a critical hit and wakes the target up. So whatever your hit does to wake up the target will obviously be a crit. And since I have it at epic, it says all damage over time on sleeping targets 100% up. So that's good. Now the skills that I'm going to be using, and this is where it gets kind of confusing, is you want to make sure that you read it. It says apply weaken curse, and it says right here at the very end, does not wake up sleeping targets. At epic or rare, it gives you curse stacks up to 3. So what that means is, let me explain how that goes. So this guy has 1 stack of curse right here, the last 8 seconds. Now I have a second stack, and just like that, I'll put a third stack. So boom, and all that is doing damage over time. Let's see. Let's go ahead and see the next one. Corrupted Magic Circle creates a 5-meter area at the target location and inflicts weaken curse on all enemies within the area, and it deals 65% of base damage, and it does not wake up sleeping targets. And before this was skills at epic, it actually take so long to cast this skill, but when you have it at epic, you speed up the time significantly. So this is what this would look like. I'm gonna go ahead and put 3 stacks of curse. It's burning. Okay, is that 3 stacks? Yes, 3 stacks of curse and 3 stacks of burning. So now I'm gonna do this. Put it to sleep. So it said 17,000 right there once I exploded everything. Now, what I should have done is do more damage while the target was asleep. Because you have to wait to do more damage and you explode it towards the end, which is how it works. Right there, I just exploded it right away. So it was kind of pointless. So let's go ahead and keep going. Corrupted Magic Circle, Explosion is basically the last thing that you want to do. So I got 2 stacks, one curse right there going, and I gotta wait for 2 more. That's another one. Let's use some Stellarite, because why not? Alright, so now I have more curses. Alright. So look at the sleeping target. It's gonna last for I have 14 seconds. And just like that, boom. You have to make sure how you do more damage, because as you see, serial firebombs, I believe, does wake up sleeping targets. It doesn't say anything about waking up sleeping targets, but let's find out. Because again, I don't main the healer, I just kind of play it on the side. But it's good to know these different things and how these effects stack. So I guess you guys want to time the burning with the sleep, because you got 14 seconds with the sleep, but I think only like 10 with the burn. So let's go ahead. Let's reapply this. So he's asleep right now. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. And what I'm counting down is here on the side. But remember how that skill I told you, where is it? Increase your duration of your curses by 1.95 seconds. This is where you would be using something like that. So that way your curse lasts a little bit longer. So instead of it lasting, let's see, what did it last before? 10 seconds, now it lasts 12 seconds. Let me take it off again. So like 9 seconds. And you think that's not a big deal, but when you're trying to do these setups, it's extremely important. So let's see, where is it at? Okay, now let's go over what I was trying to do. So Corrupted Magic Circle, it creates that area, but it's this skill right here. It says Curse Explosion. If Touch of Despair is applied to the target, applies health shield with 1,000 per stack to friendly targets for 3 seconds, which is really nice because when I explode something in the area, anybody in the area within, you know, let's see, it's applied to the target, applies health shield 2 stack. Let's see, per stack to friendly targets for 3 seconds. It does work. I've seen the shield go on players nearby. If Touch of Despair is applied, let's double check. Hold on 1 second. I apologize. To the target, boost remaining curse, burning and poison damage over time by 5% per stack for curse explosion. Oh, there you go. If my Touch of Despair is applied to the target, it boosts the remaining curse, burning and poison damage over time by 5% per stack of curse explosion. So, depending on how many stacks I have, I want to make sure it explodes at the right time. So pairing that up with this, it's kind of a small window, but if done correctly, oh my god, the amount of, I've seen this go up to like 55, 60,000. Obviously, I'm not going to hit those numbers because that's just not the build that I have. But just to kind of give you an idea, like this is kind of a cool thing that you can do as a healer. So let's see, I have my curse up for 12 seconds. And my burn is up for, let's see, is that 8 seconds? Nope, they're both up for like 14 seconds apiece. And this is the part where I would need to practice to do this the right way, so that way they're on the same timing. All right. So now we're pretty much good. I'm gonna wait a little bit. Look at that, 29,800. I think I missed the last numbers, but I did 29,000 something, you know, 63 towards the end. Had my, you know, this actually been more, I probably could have done more. But this is a way that you can go outside and mob farm. So let's go ahead and start building this back up again and see if I can hit that number again. So 30,000 is not a lot. You want that number to be like in the 50,000s, like my friends usually are, because that's a more realistic number with like a proper build. So let's go. Let's time these curse. Let's see. Do. I screwed up. Did I? I did not. 19,000. Nope, I messed up. You got to be careful because I do believe time for punishment wakes up sleeping targets. That's why I have to use it beforehand. So you really need to understand your class to do your timings perfectly. Otherwise, you're going to make a lot of mistakes like this. You do not want to be making mistakes like me, because if this is your main, you should be on top of your stuff. All right. See, look at that, 12,000. I don't think I gave you enough time to do the actual damage. So you need to pay attention to your buffs on the side. But this is a good learning experience for not just myself, but also to teach you guys what you should be doing on your own time as well, to just be practicing this stuff. It's a good thing to ask questions, but not everyone is going to have the answers to every little thing. You're going to have to practice some of this stuff yourself. So let's go ahead. All right. So let's wait for the sleep. 35,000. Boom. But yeah, I should have waited a little bit more because the explosion would have probably been more damage. But it's fine. So let's go ahead and show you guys how that would work in a mob grinding kind of scenario. So I'm not a fan of fighting these big things. It's going to be kind of a pain. But we need some mobs that are actually going to probably not die so fast. Let's see how much time I have before PvP. I have an hour. Okay. This will be the last thing I kind of show before I pretty much call it a wrap. Let's see. I guess I'll just use these two guys. So there's this guy right here, right? Hold on. Because I'm going to need Karmic Haze, which is another skill that'll basically apply it to the surrounding area. That's a soldier. That's a sentry. No, thank you. Let's go back over here. Because we want to get as many targets as possible. You'd want to get like 3 to 5 targets, obviously, for this. But this isn't too bad. So, let's pick the soldier. He has 35,000 health. Can I heal myself? That'd be fantastic. Alright, back to the guy I was fighting. Alright, so I'm trying to put a bunch of curse stacks at the same time not die. So I'll just give him 2 stacks of curse. And then I'm gonna hit him with 1 more. Put him to sleep. And when I put him to sleep, look, he's asleep. Then I'm gonna hit him with that. Now everything's asleep. And just look at that. Boom. I hit all of them with that attack. It gets a little harder when you fight in these areas because of the fact that look at how many times I'm getting attacked. So it's kind of hard to focus. But if you just stare at one and focus on that guy while healing yourself, as a healer, you can mob grind with like 30 or 40 mobs, and all the damage that you do to this one guy right here will reflect on everything. So I'm gonna go ahead and give him some more curse. So I gotta be careful he doesn't die right away. As you can see, he only has 9k health. One more curse. And I killed him, so that's unfortunate. So all the damage I would have done to the surrounding area is completely gone right there. That's why it's extremely important that you know what you're doing and the timing of your skills, because the longer it takes for you to set up, I might die here, but YOLO, let's go. Let's see, it's fighter and soldier. No, it's a sentry guy. I hate those things. They're not hard, it's just they're annoying because they just take free shots at you while the melee are in front. Alright, this is fine. We'll go ahead. Alright, setup is ready. Put him to sleep. And then you notice I stop auto attacking. Okay, he's asleep. Not everything else is asleep. So unfortunately the other guy died before I can set it off. But that's the idea of the other way you can play as a healer. Let's go ahead and leave this island. But you need that specific skill called Karmic Haste to spread your it says weakens the target and has an 80% chance to spread the curse from the main target to up to 3 targets within a 5-meter range. It says up to 3 targets, but I've seen it do it to plenty of targets in there. I've seen like a whole group just completely just knocked out by a really good healer. So get your attack speed up and just dominate, you know, mob farming. So I showed you guys how to heal. I showed you guys how to do DPS. I showed you guys how to be main, you know, healer DPS out in the open world. This is really good for PvP. Like most people, they'll just do Wand Dagger with this setup to replace this fireball with like Shadow Strike and maybe this one with Cloak, but most of it's going to be Wand. And they just, again, they'll focus one tank because obviously the tank's not going to die right away, and then they'll just spread the sleep to the surrounding area to all party members. Like I've seen it in Siege where multiple people died just because of a curse explosion. So the healer is a very good class. Hopefully that answered a lot of your questions. And the last couple things you'd want to ask is like, which is your skill tree? That's going to be up to you. For PvE, this is the tree that I went. And for staff, this is the skill tree I went for PvE. For PvP, that's a whole different video, and I don't want to go too in depth with all that. But hopefully this answered most of the stuff that you might have been curious about. There's a bunch of other cool stuff that you may or may not use for this, but if you want to copy this build, this is what you can do, and you won't have any issues healing, you know, with players. Again, I don't like this build for PvE because until they add this as a drowsy effect, you don't get to see those 35,000, 40,000 numbers that, you know, you would see in, you know, an open world in a dungeon. That's why I usually go for more staff skills like this, because it's just more efficient to be a support player like this. So, man, and remember the skills I want you to have +5 is Time for Punishment and Clay Salvation. These singular heals, you get them back every 10 seconds, so it's not a big deal. And if you have the proper build, you can get this back every 7 seconds. And if your cooldown's high enough, like, you know, 6 to 7 seconds, so you're literally healing people very quickly. But that's pretty much it. I know it's a long video, 39 minutes, but I promised myself I'm going to do this for every single class that I see, so that way I can help answer a lot of questions. So I know a lot of people are going to be trying to be healers in NA, and this is, in my opinion, one of the best like overall builds for healer because of the fact that you don't struggle with mana. Because you will struggle if you have Wand Dagger, you will struggle if you have Longbow Wand, even though you say you won't. If you have a horrible group that just takes a long time, mind you, if it's a very efficient group, you may not need to use as much mana. You may not run out because most people don't get hit. But I'm talking about for generic 80% groups where most groups usually struggle and the most pug experience. Now, if you have a guild run, you're obviously not going to need as much mana because they're probably more polished, more, you know, efficient. But this is an all-purpose save everyone type of build. But otherwise, there's Longbow Wand is a viable build, SNS Wand is a viable build, Staff Wand is a viable build, and Wand Dagger is a viable build. And you guys already saw what you can do for the most part. If you guys want to see another video, feel free to ask in the comments. The next video I'm probably going to come out with is longbow staff, because I haven't done that one yet. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And again, guys, as always, stay blessed.